There we go.
Hey.
Hey, so how are you today, Jamie?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. I think I told you I just got done with my first acupuncture appointment, so I'm
Chilling
feeling chill. Yeah.
Chilling vibe. That's the best. That's the best way to be right now, especially during these crazy days lately, right?
Yeah, definitely. Trying to
All
stay
right.
calm. How are you doing?
And it's good, good. You know, a little bit busy here and there. I mean, we got a lot. We got tomorrow. It's gonna be a busy day. We got a lot of guests coming, so I'm kind of preparing everything. But yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
Now, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we start, I have to give you an epic welcome to the show. So, if you have watched some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's fine. Let me show you that.
Oh, big audience.
Right?
Yeah, I love it. Huge fan base.
Super badass, I know. Now, starting with the whole interview now. So, in 2015, you were pursuing your career as a writer and stand-up comedy. So, tell me what were some of the highlight moments you had during the time?
Yeah, I moved to LA to presumably be a TV writer, so I thought stand-up was a route to do that. And it was fun. It was exciting. Like, I did my first ever stand-up show at the Comedy Store main room, which is like a really big space, but it was like a bringer show. It was like you had to bring friends to get time to like play. So I ended up having a lot of friends show up for me, so I had like a 10-minute slot. It was kind of like an unprecedented like amount of time, and it went really well. And I guess was just like, that was still like, I think the first time I did it was just like one of my favorite moments, to just be like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy, I'm kind of funny. It was like very reassuring. And then, you know, it was like just very cool to meet more people within the comedy community, I guess. Everyone's so smart. Like, you have to be so smart to be funny, really. And so I met a lot of great people, and I hosted a couple of shows with my friend Brian Burnett in his backyard, and that was like huge because we helped comics. We did those to kind of subvert this culture of like having to go to these shows with bookers, and they would give you video of your set and then you could use it. So we produced our own show so that we could get video and submit to festivals ourselves. And so that was super fun, and it's how I ended up getting in the Women in Comedy Festival in Boston in like 2016. I don't even know what is time, but I think it was like, it showed me that you don't always have to follow the route that Hollywood like tells you have to take to get places. You can kind of like pave your own way if you're willing to put in a little extra effort.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. And where does your passion for songwriting comes from?
I think it really comes from like a very emotional place for me. I started writing songs after I kind of like worked through some stuff, realized comedy was not really for me. It was a lot more about like validation than a like career I was passionate about. And so I took some time off and was just working a lot, and had kind of like done a lot of emotional work in therapy, and was doing all this stuff, and like songs just kind of like appeared. So it's like very much like at a soul level for me. Songwriting is like just something that like whether I like want it or not, it kind of like they just like come to me, I guess. So I guess that's where it comes from. And so I just pull from like, usually they happen when I'm like feeling very emotional, like angry or sad or happy or whatever.
And like usually how you get inspired to get like to do like the lyrics for a song?
How do I get inspired for the lyrics? I would say it depends on the song, because like for my song that I have out right now, my single Forever Summer, I think like the lyrics are like, I just think in like terms of vibes. I'm always like, I kind of just like want to recreate imagery that makes like, that evokes a feeling. So like I think one of my lyrics is like, like the sun never goes to bed, it's golden hour every day and night, like
Mm.
that light, that really warm golden light of golden hour, and like the idea of the sun being this like creature that's just like stays awake or goes to bed, like it's very like
Okay.
cute. So I don't know, I think I like pull from some of that and like my more like dreamy imagery, but I have like a couple punk songs coming out that I know we'll like touch on later, but that is definitely me channeling just like my thoughts on things like the patriarchy or whatever and my feelings. So it's like me saying what I like wish I could just like scream in the face of somebody else. So
Well, let me tell you that that's badass.
cool, thank you.
Yeah, that's badass. Awesome. Now let's talk about Forever Summer. So I listened to it, and let me tell you that it's super cool. I did like it.
Thank
It does
you.
have that vibe that you're telling, that chilling vibe. But yeah, it's really awesome. But now tell me how that song was created.
That song, it's funny too. Thank you, number one. It's like feels like so long ago now because I can't release it last November, but actually that song, I don't even think it's indicative of necessarily what else I'm putting out, but it was a pandemic song. It's like, and I don't know if like everyone gets it unless they listen closely, but the song is sort of about the pandemic. I wrote it in my room. I'd been talking with a friend like a couple days before, and we were talking about how most songs are maybe even like three chords. And I was like, I'm not very good at guitar. I'm still like learning, and I was like, I wonder if I can write a song with two chords. And I just played these two chords back and forth, and then like just sat and like was looking out my window and like just started singing about what I was feeling. And at the time, there had been all these reports of like places becoming overgrown because no foot traffic was happening, and like animals were coming out from the mountains and like taking over like neighborhoods again, and like it was basically, and like the sky was blue in places where it had been smoggy forever. Like the earth was like healing and kind of like taking back nature for itself, because like humans are the disease. Like we are the problem. And so I think like even in my like first lines of that song, it's funny because it sounds so like upbeat and like a beach bop, but it's kind of dark because like the first lines, it's like, I want to go where the grass is so green you can't believe your very eyes, I'm sure it exists, but to get there we all have to die. Like basically I was like, it just took like this mass like pandemic, thousands dead, like for us to slow down and like for the earth to like kind of heal. And then it's also just about like what would happen if we just bopped along with nature kind of thing, you know, like just unity, but also like humanity sucks. Like the whole chorus is like the plants learn to rebel. I was like thinking of like, I have this idea of like the plants just like taking things back and like kind of like fighting for their space again after we've like abused everything for so long. So yeah, so that's where it came out of, was like I guess my feelings around like this terrible tragedy that revealed though what we've been doing to our planet, basically. Yeah.
Wow, I mean those are some epic and at the same time dark vibes as well, but it is true. I mean, I did have this conversation with a friend of mine once. We were talking about how humans are like the worst enemy for the planet, because wherever we go, we will destroy what's around so we can build like our stuff, you know.
Capitalism.
And we will destroy ecosystems, we will kill animals here and there. So it is interesting because we are kind of a plague for the earth, but at the same time, whenever the earth wants to teach us a lesson, I mean, it just takes like one hurricane or one earthquake or volcano explosion or a virus or whatever, and then boom, you know, it's I think like all of this, I think like especially recently, right, with this whole hurricane season, I think it also kind of teaches that we need to be kind of more humble, and at the same time we need to not push like earth too much, because as I said, I mean, as I just said, I mean, it just takes one thing the earth to do to pretty much teach us that we can't control it, you know. And I do believe that the world could be like a better place if we just take responsibility for what we do. And also we take, like, we don't, like, how can I say it, if we just kind of let the world be, you know, that it's okay if you want, if we have like this amazing cities and whatever, but it's also nice if we leave nature here and there, you know, if we just leave them be, you know. I remember that, for example, where I live, I had this fence in which there was this tree, and all of the all of the branches and everything were taking over the fence, and it looked really cool. I mean, I did like it, but then the problem was that I had this neighbor who wanted to take it out because some of the branches were going to his house. So it was a constant fight here and there. So the thing was that we had to take down all of those branches, and then the fence was clean again, and then in a couple of months later, that guy, like my neighbor left. Then someone new came, and then all the branches again were start growing, and then it looks amazing. And this neighbor was like, you know what, I like it. Don't leave it. I don't want it to cut it. So I was like, cool, that's really nice. So yeah, I just think that we need to be like more responsible of the world, because it's the world that we're living, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I mean, it's futile. Attempts to control nature are just like useless, because like your example, it will always grow back, or hopefully, you know, keep growing back. It is now green and everything. It looks really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I find it funny that we will pretty much destroy where we live. It's kind of ironic at the same time. It's I could get into my whole thoughts. I mean, it's completely like born of capitalism and like our desire for resources that completely depletes the planet without like giving them time to renew. It's all, it's all that's a whole different. I can go down that path, but it might be a whole different conversation.
Yeah, no, totally. But it's, I mean, what I find it interesting and what I find really nice is that you're talking about it, and I think that's kind of the beauty of music, that you can express what you feel to a song, and you can actually say what you want, and the fact that you can find people who relate to that. I think that is pretty inspiring. At the same time, it is kind of humble to see how you are moving some people that you don't know anything at all, but they relate to your music. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's exciting.
Now, tell me, are we going to get more awesome music anytime soon?
Yes, I promise. I have music coming out. I feel like I've been saying it forever. I feel like a broken record, but so I'm not going to say like exactly when, because I don't want to make a promise, because right now I have nothing, like, it's not locked in, but I can say that I have one song is done. I'm waiting on the music video to release with it, and the second song I just finished the whole like cut, and it's being mixed right now. So I have 2 songs that will be coming out very soon. I would say one I'm hoping in like within a month, something like within the next 4 to 5 weeks. So yes, and those are both going to be a lot more like riot girl punk, but like very accessible punk, I guess. I would say it's like not full pop punk, but like it's not like hardcore. I think people will like it. I'm excited, especially women, but it's for everyone.
Cool. So we have the exclusive here.
Yeah.
There you go. That's how this show is all about. We all have nothing but exclusive. That's cool.
Exclusive after exclusive. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah.
There you go. Now, what do you like the most about creating music?
I think I guess like to me, I think it's so magic to watch a song come together. Especially if you can like get other people involved, and it's like you're trying to create a language with these other people, because I'm like over here, especially if you don't have the like a strong music background where I can't be like play a beat. Like I grew up musically, but I'm not like, I don't remember a lot of like technical stuff, and so I can't just be like play a beat for that and then like harmonize on the third. I don't have that direction, so I'm just like, okay, so what if you like keep it like ba 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 while I'm doing like da 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 da. It's like you're just like talking in like all of these like random vibey things and like trying to like explain it with like your hand. Like it's like if you don't know, you're trying to just get like meld your brain with other people and like have something come out that is like what you're hearing inside your head. I don't know. It's it's like you have to all just like come together and like create your own language, and that's what building a song feels like to me. Is like just trying to like get everyone who like is coming from different parts to like come together and agree on this one thing. And I think it's like when it does, I'm like, oh my god, you knew what I was talking about. It's like it's mind-blowing to me all the time that I'm like, damn, you know, it's like my brain is so scattered, so I'm like, I can't believe anyone can understand it ever. So I think that's the coolest part about songwriting for me, definitely.
Preach. I like it. Yeah, that's awesome. And tell me, what music genre you usually listen? Like whenever you want to chill or you want to do something, like what's the playlist that is going to be in the background?
See, that depends, because if I want to chill, then I'm listening to something different than if I want to motivate. I'm gonna like, I mean, generally like indie, whatever. But I will say that when I'm like trying to get stuff done or I want to bolster my mood, I love disco. Like I really like love like Donna Summer, ABBA, like all of those like classic hits and like a bunch of deep cuts. You know, Spotify will send my way. Like I have just like a special place in my heart for disco because I love dancing. But you know, when I'm angry, I turn more to like punk riot girl, like Bikini Kill, or like Bratmobile or something like that. You know, that's like good for like moving your big feelings. But I'm also the kind of person that sometimes like in the morning I wake up and I put on like KUSC, it's our classical radio station, and I just like listen to the classics because I need to like have a very calming like moment. So I'm all over the place for sure. My mood definitely dictates my music, which is probably why my songs are all over the place. I know a lot of people have a lot of taste, but I'm really like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's cool. That's awesome that you like the disco vibe. Have you listened to these guys called Me and My Toothbrush?
No, I have never heard of them.
Definitely check on them because they really make some really amazing kind of disco indie dance songs. They're pretty much one of the reasons why I started with the whole mixing and DJ thing.
Cool.
And yeah, they make really awesome music. I don't know why like a lot of people don't know them. I remember when I started and they were they were telling me like, hey, what's with who? I mean, what song is that? And I was like, yeah, it's this for Me and My Toothbrush. What? They were like, yeah, check on them. Really, is there a group called Me and My Toothbrush? And I was like, yes.
So funny.
Yeah.
Are they based out of Mexico? Where are they from?
I think they're from Switzerland. I'm not sure. I mean, they're European, but I don't know exactly. But I don't know where exactly. I mean, I've been trying to get an interview with them. If at some point they're listening to this. But anyway,
he's out here selling you. Like they gotta give you an interview.
But I've been trying to get into them because they really inspired me to start with the whole DJ stuff. Yeah, they really play really awesome music though.
I will definitely check them out. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, not as yours because yours is badass, but close.
It's all there's room for all of us. We all have good stuff. Yeah.
Totally. Now I have a question here. Tell me, what is what is the word? Do you listen to music that you don't like what's the word? Like a guilty pleasure or
guilty
music?
Pleasure.
Yeah, like a song that you don't usually listen, but you just like to listen, and you just kind of don't let anybody kind of know, but you just love it whenever you hear it.
I don't think I have any guilty pleasures. I don't think you should feel guilty about what makes you happy, but I do definitely have some songs that people are really surprised that I listen to. I freaking love Sean Paul, and everyone's like, what? And I'm not shy about it. Every time I go out, I'm the obnoxious girl at the DJ booth that I'm like, will you play Get Busy by Sean Paul? And they're the DJ's what? And if they're cool, they'll be like, hell yeah. They'll so that's definitely my one kind of wild card. And then I, for some reason, sometimes when I'm feeling like really emotional, I like to listen to Kissed by a Rose by Kiss from a Rose. Is it Kissed by a Rose? Kiss from a Rose. I always forget. By Seal. Like da da
Okay.
da 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 da
Mhm.
da
Yeah.
da. It's so, yeah, that like, it's I don't know what it is about that song, but it's like so moving. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I guess those are like a couple of my like rogue picks.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if you could describe your music career at the moment, how would you do it?
I would say that my music career is a butterfly, and we're still in the chrysalis stage right now. It's like, you know, it needs to grow a little bit more. Like I was like this little caterpillar, and I was like, here, I played a show, I released a song, and now I'm kind of like, oh shit, I'm not ready yet. Hold on. And so had to like backtrack. And realized I like needed to finish some other things first. I'm like a really impulsive person, so I was like, I finished a song, let's release this shit. Like I was like, let's go. And then I was like, oh, if I want to do this right, I should probably slow down, and like think about marketing, think about like press releases, make sure it's like at the level I want it to be. Like, who else can I get involved? How can I make it better? Like, there's been a lot of stuff, and so it's been really frustrating for me because I still have that like impatient feeling, but I'm trying to like really do this right because I realize it's like I care about it, so I need to put time into it, you know, and like treat it with some respect. So I would say, yeah, we're in like a little incubator chrysalis phase right now, but like wings are starting to poke out, and like it's almost there. So yeah, I guess that would be how I would describe it right now.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And if you could describe your career, but in a song, how would you call it?
Like the title of the song. Man, sorry if I feel too like
Okay, it's okay.
I'd call it "Slow Down, Kid. It's All Gonna Happen." That would be the title of my song. I'm trying really hard right now to like be like, it's all gonna happen in the time that it's supposed to happen.
I like it.
Yeah, so
I like it. You have a title already.
Chill.
Then if at some point you're looking for a title, you can go back to this and be like, I remember this one. Got it.
I might use this, honestly.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, that would be cool. You know, awesome. And any advice to people who recently started creating music?
I would say it's hard because I'm like talking about being more thorough, but like when you're just starting out, like just start. That is all. Like I spent like at least 2 years before I started writing music in 2019, like walking around being like, I want to be in a band. Like, who's playing? Like, you know, I'm like a singer. I want like someone. And like, obviously no one was like, yeah, we've been looking for you. Like, you know, because people are like doing their own thing. I didn't have anything to show them. And so it was only when I was finally like, you know what? Okay, I'm like mediocre at best at some of these instruments, but I'm just going to start writing stuff and like playing and like getting it out there. And that's like really when the momentum started. So I would just say, like, don't wait to be perfect, because the more I realize is like, you don't actually have to know that much about music to create music. You know, you can like, I wrote that song Forever Somewhere with 2 chords on a guitar, like 2 bar chords, just back and forth. Like you can do anything. It's like you don't have to be like an expert to be able to create something beautiful. So I would say just start now.
Totally. Yeah, I think the key is to be real, you know, whenever that you are expressing something on it, right? Otherwise it's going to take you years or even a decade to try to do something if you're trying to imitate or trying to kind of
just be authentic.
There you go.
And that will make you, and that's the thing too, is it's like, don't worry so hard about trying to like make something unique, or maybe to try to like replicate. I think there's like 2 sides. Some people are like, I want to make something groundbreaking, or like I want to make like a pop hit, you know, and it has to be like this. And I think that really, if you're just making what's like trying to come out of your body, like the song, like whatever it is like, it'll be so deeply personal just because it's like very authentically you. So Then you just have to trust that.
Love it. Now, now moving on here, tell me about, so on your Instagram page, tell me from all of the posts you have, which one means to you the most?
Oh man, I mean, it's interesting because like my Instagram is like it's such like a scrapbook for people now. You know, it's like your whole life. Unless you archive stuff, but I've just kind of left everything up because it's like sometimes good for me to reflect on like how far I've come.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like pinpoint like a favorite post. I guess I think that the day after I played my like first show right before the pandemic hit, and I just, you know, got a lot of like supportive comments and likes on that. I think that was really a big one for me because I had just kind of like was like, by the way, guys, I'm a musician now, which it's like I'm also like a million other things because I'm all over the place. I'm a Renaissance woman, but like it was cool to just see my community be like, sure, yeah, you're a musician now. That's great. We support you, and like we're here for it. Like, can't wait to see what you do. And that was like, to me, it was just very nice to be like, oh, I don't have to like worry about losing anyone in the comedy community. I don't have to worry about losing anybody like this. They're all like, they were the whole time. It turns out they were just fans of me as a person. And so it's cool to like see it just kind of like made everything like it took the safety net off of like I can do whatever I want. I don't have to label anything, and like I still have the support of like the people who care about me. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, yes, I make music, and like I guess I could still, in theory. Sorry, the streets of, I don't know if you hear that car is so loud. But it's like I can do comedy, I can do music. I'm like selling vintage clothing right now. I do sometimes production design. Like it's like you can do anything, and like at the end of the day, it's like you are what's important. So I think that post was really reassuring for me.
There you go. And like my last question here, any advice to someone who recently started working on their dreams?
I think my advice, and I maybe said this in like an article that I came out recently, but like I think my advice is to keep them close to you before you share them with everyone else. I think that this is a theme that I've had to like, a lesson I've had to relearn over and over again, is that like no one knows your potential like you do. So like, you know what you're capable of, but not everybody else knows what you're capable of. And so if you're out there being like, hey, I think I'm gonna like release a song, but someone doesn't even know that you wrote music before, then they might like be like, oh, like that's kind of a big deal. I didn't realize that. Like it's like you never know how someone's gonna receive what you're saying. And I think that like when you're like really thinking about like creating something, it's such like a fragile little baby, and having like any negative comments around it can really like knock you off your saddle a little bit. Like it's like suddenly you're like, oh no, bad idea, back to my corner, like what, I'm so stupid for thinking I could do this. And so I think it's just really important to like protect your ideas for a while and like keep them safe until they're just like ready. Honestly, I would tell like as few people as possible until you're like confident in what you're doing already and feel like great about it, and just do it. Because getting validation for something, because maybe it's like sometimes the opposite. It's like, oh, I'm gonna release music, people are like, oh my god, that's incredible, you're amazing, blah blah. You get that like adrenaline spike of like the validation of like, yeah, cool, everyone thinks this is gonna be sick, like this is gonna be great, and then maybe you just like don't do it because you already like were fulfilled with that like little boost, you know? So I think it's like just do the work and stop, and like don't worry about telling people. I think we're like so like focused on telling people what's going on right now all the time with us that like it's hard to keep things secret. But like I think sometimes, oh my god, someone's reacting very strongly to this. I think it's like really important sometimes to just like do a Beyonce style like boom, here's an album, I did it, you know what I mean? Like it's just I think that can be more effective and like keeps you safer while you're like incubating ideas. So
That's even more epic. I mean, preach plus two. I'm speechless now.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it is true. I mean, it is true, and I think that more people should. I mean, if they wanna do something, they should like get that mentality that you have, because yeah, it is challenging whenever you start something, especially if it's your dream. But you just need to work, and work hard and just keep pushing.
Yeah, exactly. And just don't expect it to happen overnight, no matter how good it is or how hard you work. Like, so much of things that pay off just require building connections and like putting in the time. So yeah,
that is epic. And what can I say? I mean, Jamie, you're a badass. and the fact that you are being honest here, and that you are real, and you can tell us with your music. I mean, I can definitely wait to listen more of your amazing songs in the future, and I'm super sure that at some point we're gonna see you in these huge festivals, because I think that if someone deserves it, and if someone is being real of it, it is you. And I think that is one of the things, especially in music also, that is needed these days, to have like real, I mean, not like real, but original, you know what I mean? That original people, that they create like their own stuff and not trying to copycat each other, because I think that at some point music has become that as well. At some point,
it's really an assembly line sometimes with some of the pop songs. They're just like, yeah, this is like, right now we love bass and like clapping sounds and like blah blah blah. Like, I don't know.
Totally. But the fact that you are just doing what you want and you're expressing it too, I think that is very impressive and also inspiring. I think that for those who are listening to this later on the podcast or watching this later on the YouTube video, can totally feel inspired about how real you are with that. So I wanna pretty much give you a huge shout out for being a badass here, because we need more badass people like you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very touched. Thank you.
Now, normally what I would say, first, thank you so much also for those who tune in here. And also, if you're listening to this later on the podcast or watching this later on the YouTube video, make sure that you're following Jamie in all of her social media. Normally what I would say is that put pause, hydrate, and then follow her in all of her social media. Share a bunch of likes here and there, why not? Definitely listen to her song, right? Also, put it on your playlist for sure, and then come back. And again, Jamie, thank you so much for being here. I really wish you an amazing rest of the week, and just keep doing amazing stuff, because we do need more amazing stuff, especially right now during this whole crazy days.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Yeah. Now, before I send you off, I need to send you off in an epic badass way. So.
Oh my God. Thank you. Oh, so good to see you. Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, keep having a good one, okay?
Thank you too.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.